Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis. Me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. And this time it is going to be on The Kid Who Would Be King. Now, The Kid Who Would Be King is a family-friendly fantasy adventure film about a boy who basically gets bullied, and he has a storybook about this sort of a myth, but it's a fantasy book that his dad gave him before he went away. He didn't die, it's just he went away. And basically, the book is basically leaving him a message that he is the new king of this fantasy place. I mean, they go to the same place. There's no like dimension going through or anything like that. No, he's in this regular world, and he is the king. He gets the sword from the stone, and basically, the story is basically telling him what he has to do to be king. Like his the bullies basically become his allies, which was in the book, and he has to fight down this creepy dragon thing. The main villain's name is Morgana, and no, not like that Morgana, because that Morgana is freaking adorable. Nah, I'm talking about this ugly dragon thing. I mean, she's not ugly in human form, just when she turns into this dragon thing. But yeah. Now, I really wasn't looking forward to this movie that much. It just looked like some generic kids movie uh, in January. It might just be one of those. But apparently, it's this January's Paddington. I surprisingly had a really fun time at this movie. So basically, January is starting off kind of like what the rest of the year did. I had movies that I was anticipating but ended up letting me down, movies that I wasn't anticipating and surprising me. And that doesn't mean I wanted to hate this movie. I wanted this movie to be surprising, and it was. I had a fun time. There are some issues I have, which I will get into in a minute. But for the most part, it's basically like a family-friendly Lord of the Rings type film. Like there are some pretty dark moments. Like basically, in terms of violent moments, basically the violence are toward finding these skeleton-like creatures in CGI. Like when they get hit by not just by the sword, but they just ram cars into them and stuff like that, and not the sword, which was a bit cheesy in my opinion. I mean, the kid does have the sword, so why not just? I mean, he does use the sword. Don't get me wrong. And what I really liked is how much heart it had to it. Like, at first, you got these bullies who just keep picking on him, just like in any other movie. But basically, the story as it drags on, they start becoming friends, which is something that I really appreciated. That it manages to have heart to it in terms of friends or enemies becoming friends and stuff like that. And also, this movie does have kind of a twist, and kind of a mean spirited twist a little bit that happens, which I was like, okay, so they just added that in the movie. Basically, he does have to go and find his father, and basically there's something that happens that I'm obviously not going to give away, but I don't know, it just kind of felt it a little bit off in my opinion. In terms of pacing, I could say that the first half of the movie, or no, the first quarter at least, when they're trying to, these are your characters that you're supposed to care for. It didn't really work in terms of that sort of pace, but as soon as he gets the sword, it definitely starts picking up and started getting a lot more interesting from there. And yeah, so for the most part, I had a pretty fun time with the film. There definitely were a lot of people that thought this movie was going to be generic, and some people still think it is. But in terms of how it is in terms of family quality, I can say it's for the most part, the comedy is there. There surprisingly wasn't as much comedy, but for the most part, the comedy wasn't pointless. Like there isn't any fart jokes or poop jokes or anything like that. No, it's straight up smart comedy for the most part, and yeah. Also, there is one of those scenarios where you think the ending is about to come up, but no, something else is going on. So there is one of those, kind of like an Into the Woods, except this was a lot better than that film. So there's also that too. So for the most part, I surprisingly had a fun time with the movie. It's definitely not a perfect film, but for the most part, I can say it was definitely worth the price of admission, surprisingly. I was going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 because of those issues, but, you know, for the most part, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So, if it's still playing, definitely check it out. It's a shame it's one of those movies that people just aren't going to give a chance, so it's just going to flop at the box office, unfortunately. But, you know, if you do decide to catch it on video, definitely check it out. And so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. And next week is my sister's birthday, and she has stuff planned, so we're gonna be seeing Lego Movie 2 next weekend. And I will have more videos out pretty soon. I still have my collection series to continue, and there is coming to a point where I'm going to make another Chat with Matt video, so stay tuned for that, which will be soon, hopefully next week. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Ward out.